who's in the booth. Shot of the logos. That means it's time for the pick and ban. Jin Air, again, over onto that blue side.
Nara a big pick between these two teams. I'm very excited to see how early it'll be picked. When I see a gangbang, I think Nara first pick is looking very exciting here. So1, even though he's had a great season, we're talking about his improvement. If you actually dive in and look at the stats, 3-2 on, 3-0 Nara, and no wins on any other champions, even though he's had great games on Camille, for example. So his effective champion pool. That means what's actually getting the victories so far has been the Nara and Orin. And Orin is kind of out of the top lane with his nerfs on patch 8.2. Still a chance we'll see some support on in this game, but with that reality, I think Nara is very high priority for Jin Air in particular, but we've already seen there's a lot of other meta champs that have to be respected. You see a Nazia ban, a Galio first pick also looks possible for Grace, so a lot going on here, even though we've already had 2 mid lane bans.
Yep, of course, Zoe being banned away from Grace has had some pretty start-studded performances with that champion, so ROX Tigers don't even want to be concerned with it. It's a lot of mid lane bans, and now top lane, I suppose, with the Rise being taken off the board. But we'll take a dip into the jungle with the Sejuani being banned away by Jin Air.
Mid lane focus has been the 8.2 meta so far, and the kind of the thing that what happens when you can opt into continuing mid lane bans on red side is that Jin Air will feel pressured to first pick a mid lane because they're like, wait, nothing's left. We've got to go for it now. And that means there could potentially be 2 game breakers open on the red side for ROX Tigers. So final ban here. Will they continue? The mid lane Vegas, no, the Nara that we said would likely be first picked by So1, we banned away, and now So1 will probably have to visit something new. The Galio, like I mentioned, is conspicuously available, so it'll be locked in, and it's also ultra comfort for Lava, who re-debuted it into the LCK in 2018.
Yep, all right, well, we'll go ahead and get that Galio locked in. ROX Tigers, a lot that they could select. 80 carries are going to be available. Ezreal, Callista on the board. Jinx as well, Songyun.
Songyun might actually wait a little bit on mid lane. He's been happy to go Varus, even though he wasn't winning on the champion. He hasn't been prizing Callista as early, and Kog'Maw has been lower priority this week. But then also you see Galio and wonder which hyper carry we're going to see on the blue side here for Jin Air. So a lot of interesting things to evaluate. So far, Lava on his pentakill champion, the Corki. Jungle matchup here is a featured one.
Oh,
but they're going to wait.
Go right to it. Perhaps here as they flash the Callista, and with the clock as low as it is, likely going to be the lock-in, so
they want to deny
80 already.
And they want to deny also the playmaking of the Fate's Core and also the Galio ult. What does this mean for the jungle matchup is something very fun to watch. We might see Camille locked in as a flex pick here, just to try and get the counter pick for the jungle, because I think OGN has identified that both these guys like to pick aggressively, or they're just taking an ultra-aggressive jungler and saying, we'll take whatever you want to run into it. Vladimir could be considered by someone that's locked in.
Yep, all right. Well, Jin Air not trying to beat around the bush, not trying to mess with the heads of the ROX Tigers. They are showing them straight up and plainly, this is what we're locking. Come to us.
What if Songwon will go back to Rengar? And that's something he could consider here. Only 1 loss in the season, but a good pick for him previously. The Kha'Zix, again, is considered. It's been his most played by far this season, and his ability to really snowball top lane has been a highlight, but it might just be holding on to their options here when it comes to the jungle. And okay, Cho'Gath on the top side. So the EU LCS favorites, the counter pick to the Vladimir, has similar sustain and actually can get into burst range in surprising fashion. So
it's a classic matchup.
Definitely is. Only seen it once this season so far. With jungle attention, it can be overwhelmed, as Cho'Gath can be a bit predictable. He's not a primary engage. He is just really picked for lane. But they have Callista already, so maybe engage will be something a bit lower priority.
Oh.
As we're cutting.
Might have had an issue, maybe.
Oh, unfortunately, Joel was letting us know that there are a couple of bugs with Champ Select. Means we'll have to remake from where we were at. So a Kog'Maw ban. I assume that still stands.
Yeah, I think that was legitimate. Well, we'll see. But it's the problem is originating from Wraith's computer. So gonna have to get that one taken care of. So we'll just get the lobby remade and likely resume from right where we were. I think everything was legitimate. We're not hearing otherwise, so it seems like Cho'Gath was the lock-in for the ROX Tigers, and Kog'Maw should be the next ban by them as well.
We'll get more information. I imagine we'll go straight back into champs. They're pretty fast, guys, so sorry for the momentary delay here. Made sense that Kog'Maw was banned when they already had a Galio kind of protect the draft.
Yeah.
Wonder where they will go in terms of 80 carries. I was able to catch Teddy in the back and said the word Jinx a lot of times and hoped that he would respond to it.
And what was his response?
He said that Jinx was not a great champion, which obviously made me very upset, but who knows? Maybe he's just showing false bravado and just insta-locks it when it gets to his pick.
He just wants to surprise you.
I mean, they might be surprised by Xayah Rakan here, so when we're following up the Kog'Maw ban, it might be smart to ban away one of Xayah or Rakan.
Have been seeing the Lovers bot lane making their return as of late.
And more recently, the Kalista Rakan bot lane that was the favorite after Rift Rivals has also been locked in quite a lot.
Could be something for Key. He's got a lot of experience playing the Rakan. So maybe, if we see that continue through, we'll see ROX Tigers pick that one up for themselves.
As we know, getting a client reset for Wraith and getting back into Champ Select, of course, will take a little bit of time to run through everything as it was before the unfortunate little bug there. But let's have it happen before the game starts, rather than when the game gets going.
I agree. Don't want to slow down the action. Not that
No,
there's going to be much action with Jin Air, but...
Hey, Jin Air has their moments.
I know. MT's playing Camille this game. I've got high hopes for it.
We can stay optimistic till the Sivir is locked in, then we just jump straight off the ship. That's what we have to do.
That's true. Then we just bail out and say, sorry, the English cast is canceled for the evening.
Yep, that's exactly.
You guys
presented without comment.
The Korean cast. But here we go. So everything
Whoa!
going back through and...
Whoa!
Hey.
What happened?
Something disappeared.
Gracie, are you okay over there? Grace, calm down. Hopefully that's just a client bug.
I think that that's just a client bug, but
it also could be that we left the overlay on, because we're still banning.
Possibly. The Vladimir should be there.
What are they saying? What does it mean?
I think that they, I think they just removed the one image from Grace's, but they didn't remove the other ones.
We got too excited getting back to Champ Select. But as far as we know, we're following this, maybe not up to the Kog'Maw, as the Kog'Maw for now doesn't hover down the bot. You know that Linderung is active. Yeah, locking that, Corky. Double 80 carry was the first round here, as we're all a bit bemused with where we're at.
God, OGN knows the future. It's hovering before the players are hovering.
I mean, the fans have known it's scripted for years now, Kilius. We're not lying to the fans. All right, Omti, lock in that jungle Camille.
What's he going to play?
I don't know. Grace?
Oh my God. Ooh,
live.
A Vladimir, my God.
The fans always ask live or replay, clearly live.
What are they going to take into that one? The Cho'Gath.
Well, the script has so far been written. We saw...
That's a classic matchup.
Is it Groundhog Day, Achilles?
I'm having deja
I
vu.
cannot have Jin Air Groundhog Day!
At least it's not Jin Air SKT Groundhog Day. We have to relive that over and over again.
We don't know what Jin Air ROX Groundhog Day looks like.
That's, you got a good point, but there we go. So we can now progress forward.
And
They're no longer scripted.
Alistair is banned away. So some primary engage denied away from Key, who's largely been on disengage this season. Has been a Braum main. Not to the success, though. Wonder if Orange support might be played in this game. Orange definitely lower priority, and we mentioned that the Xayah might be paired to deny Xayah Rakan on the blue side. In a very common second round ban, because 80 carries have been falling to the second round. Teddy looks a bit sad that he won't be able to play Xayah Rakan.
Oh, sad Teddy.
You know that every ban that isn't Sivir means there's an extra likelihood of Sivir.
Well, no Thresh
also,
either.
Sivir has great synergy with Vladimir.
Shut up.
I'd love to be talking them into a Jinx pick, but I think I've talked them into a Sivir pick.
Okay. Well, let's.
Hey, we didn't make plans. It was Jin Air in the second series on the Thursday. We knew not to make plans, as ROX Tigers have to decide about their plan for jungle and mid lane.
I mean, we loosely have plans. It's Wing Night tonight.
It is Wing Night, but I didn't get free BBQ chicken yesterday, so who knows?
Really?
Nope.
They had flavor.
It was late. It was late, unfortunately.
Oh.
I didn't want to take it away from the fans.
Makes sense.
Look, Teddy, you found an 80 carry that's not Sivir. Lock it in.
Please.
Jinx is also available. Yeah,
Oh.
the hover I asked for.
He's flashing it. Okay, now he's just messing with us.
That's literally because I asked him about it. Sadly,
I think he's just pouring through
Ezreal and
everything. He even
Sivir
showed Kindred.
Tristana seem to be the options here. Ezreal, Sivir, Tristana. Tristana was the first thought. They will go with it. So,
hooray!
Fun thing about Tristana with the Galio is that you can rocket jump in and be your own initiator. So Ruler have a lot of fun with that. And this is very KSV-esque. They go for Tristana and the Taric.
Which means that ROX should win since they beat KSV.
Transitive property has been very dangerous this season, Achilles, with all sorts of
I'm working it out.
misfortune befalling everyone. Tristana Taric is the eventual choice there. Sort of situation where we might see Grace, well, I should say So1, kited out here if the ultimatum isn't in the right spot. But last pick is going to be support. They want to reinforce the bot lane. And they're considering going for the, well, we never have to gank bot lane now. We've got Kalista and Tom Kench, so super safe bot lane for the side of ROX Tigers. The Tom Kench also synergized very well with the eventual playstyle of the 4-1 having Corki poke under a turret with the Trinity Force. So all about timings here. Big scaling in the top side for Jin Air, big scaling in the mid lane for ROX Tigers. The Cull Corki is going to be a real thing. But to me, I need to watch Teddy, because Teddy has been on more the defensive side. The Vayne was the last champion that he played. We haven't seen him on lane dominance since he blew apart MVP on the Ezreal, 6 items pre-30 minutes. Teddy's had a week to really, gather power, gather his storm, if you will, in solo queue. Let's see how he does here against Sangyu.
All right, well, has the Tristana, has the Taric, so fairly defensive, but can be aggressive if they want to, can jump forward, try to get that dazzle off the back of that rocket punch, rocket punch. That'd be Blitzcrank, we already saw him today.
You got rockets on the mind, and Jin Air have their glad plane on their mind. Can they return to winning ways 1 week after their loss to KT Rolster? Will ROX Tigers continue to reinvigorate their season out of nowhere? All the players, the jovial times are over. No longer are we getting the boxing between Umti and Sungwon. We're ready for some League of Legends. OGN is obviously a little bit not ready for some AR. Hopefully we'll see it very soon.
Getting everything squared away.
We just want to augment reality.
Even though it's scripted, they still have to take a little while to get this stuff ready.
Waiting to augment some reality for you guys and then show you some video games. So we can get into this fun battle.
Yeah, should be straight into the game from there. As long as we don't have another issue, which we can only hope. There we are.
Boom!
It's
Boom!
up.
Boom!
Oh.
I'm trying, guys.
Come on.
Yay!
Boom! Right.
Augmented reality.
We got it.
It's way better than real reality. It's augmented.
It was just buffering, but we got it ready to go.
Vladimir versus Cho'Gath, the EU LCS special. We'll see if Cho'Gath can have more success this time out. Grace on the Galio, but against a man who knows a lot about Corki and a lot about Galio, knows both sides of the matchup. Just Lava.
And Kalista Tom Kench versus the Tristana Taric. We'll see how this one's going to play out. Teddy, will he have another explosive performance? I'd like to say yes, he'd like to take home a very concise win here, but Jin Air versus ROX Tigers, pretty even playing field. Let's see how this one turns out as we jump into game number 1. ROX Tigers fans definitely being vocal here in the audience. As you can see, we're already a minute 22 in, so the players jumping into the game before the augmented reality was ready to go. So we're going straight into the laning phase.
And Lava's jumping straight into Toboggan to celebrate the significant cultural event that's happening in Korea that apparently we can't talk about.
Yeah, that thing. The sports circles are going to be occurring later this week.
We were told that we cannot talk about any significant events that are happening in Korea in February.
We can't name it, but we can roundabout it pretty well.
Well, let's talk directly about League of Legends here. Someone going to be fine on the early levels, but we'll be pushed in because you can just press E and push into the Vladimir. Yep. This is the stat that is really telling. Sungwon has really set the tone, and it's largely been top lane ganks into snowballing on the Vladimir or onto the enemy top lane. That has been the way that ROX Tigers got most of their leads. So Umti is going to go for the counter gank very early, or maybe just the gank straight up. He has E and Q as his first 2 skills.
Ward is zoned down, but Linderong's really far forward if he wanted to go for it. Now will pop over right as Songwon's going to see him.
Songwon's level 3,
He's
though.
not going to be in vision. Goes in for the stun. Will lock up Linderong, who flashes away trying to get over there, but Songwon says, sorry, man, I'm out. Starts retreating, and first blood will go over to Soan.
So that's really a good read there by Jin Air about how ROX love to play. The level 3 top lane from ROX was standard. The 2 buff into gank top was non-standard, but it was reading the situation. It's getting a kill for the Vladimir in the pseudo counter matchup. Really big spin there. Love to see it from Jin Air.
Keen out. And Songyun just trying to harass where they can. The nice push here onto Teddy and Wraith. Get a couple minions ahead early on, so decent start for them. Songwon now rotating around towards the mid side, but likelihood of taking down this Galio, even with just the corrupting potion there, is very slim.
Yeah, it's 0. So he's going to be looking for a bit of counter jungling himself. Umti top side. No cost for the gank because Songwon was already shadowing him, so couldn't just take camps in the bot side while Umti was ganking. Bit of feeling between these two players. If you missed the pre-game, had them both shadow boxing with each other. And speaking of shadow boxing, isn't it real boxing?
Yeah, MT just going to go ahead and jump over the wall. So he will keep himself safe.
Because there's no tier on the tower, it's actually not that much lane control for Jin Air super early. I think when tier is purchased, I expect them to be a bit more aggressive about pushing in minion waves in the face of the Kalista. Tristana does trade very well 1v1 against the Kalista, but for now at least going to be pretty passive stuff from Jin Air. And they also had a jungler who wanted to make a level 2 top lane gank, so it made sense for them to not get too aggressive in the pushing.
Songyun getting harassed down here and there. Let's have the double door and shield start in the bottom side. So we're back to this.
We're also back to the supports being unsealed, but apart from that, only Vladimir will be opting in. Well, tracking the itemization for the Vladimir, the first Vlad we saw was Khan on patch 8.2, and he just went for the old build of Proto Belt into situational, so expect that'll probably be the choice here, now that you can no longer go down the Frost Queen's Claim quest line and get lots of value from the quest in particular.
Yeah, if Soan can start building aggressively, could be quite oppressive against Linderong now that he's got that nice first blood bump in the gold.
There might actually be an argument to kind of going to an older Vladimir build and maybe not going for a Spirit Business necessarily, but a Spectre's Cowl early for just how much damage you take from sitting in the minion wave to a couple of E's and a W from the Cho'Gath. So it's something to consider, but
I was thinking super old.
Yeah, that would be very old school. Rush Medjais would also be considered back then, but it's going to be the Proto Belt rush here from Soan. Not really going to be susceptible to an all-in until a little bit later, but Cho'Gath does surprising damage, and we all know about his lane sustain.
And his ability to just jump in there and eventually feast the Tristana to death. Someone looking for the hit, but the Justice Punch connects in onto Lava, as does the taunt. Now hook shot over the wall. MT looking for the hit. Can't quite get the tactical sweep onto him, but they force the flash out of both the mid laner and the jungler.
Man,
so
great
good turnaround.
Super outplayed both Lava and Songwon. And that particular gank almost took down two guys as Umti didn't have flash to flash onto the Jarvan and just kill him straight up. Really nice outplay there from Grace. The Lava was on Ultra Comfort. Puts them in good stead in terms of the mid lane, and we're ready to be convinced by a Galio because Galio's had some meager pickings in recent games. We haven't seen the reliability of the Galio come out. Want to see if we can see some proactive Heroes entrance plays stick in the early game rather than be well disengaged as SKT and other teams have found recently. And I talked about the tier power spike in bot lane. The tier is there, the melee range Soraka, as this man himself, Wraith, was the one in an interview with Invent Global that named Tarek the melee Soraka. Now has the tier. I think this is where the lane will warp a little bit and Teddy can be a bit more proactive in terms of pushing the bot lane.
Someone looking for the invade here on the red. And with MT up near the Wolves, seems like he'll be able to take this one away. So nice little invasion. Gonna net him that buff. He's got the blue to go ahead and hand over to Lava as he gets ready to come back into the lane. So pretty good timing on this roam.
Yeah, it's a really good read. The control ward especially.
Oh, but MT.
And a face check, Songwon. Yep,
sees him.
But
Good
no
sweeper.
ultimate, so no Heroes entrance link. Very, very difficult to invade against a Galio because, as we always talk about, the fact that the Galio can rotate first means that, especially with your flash down, chances of dying are very high. But read the situation well, and Umti won't be bested by that one, going for his own red buff steal.
He's going to trade it straight back.
Look at Linderong. Look what the price he's had to pay for.
Yeah, he's been getting brutalized.
I mean, the lane control by Soan has been very deep on his side, so Linderong can't just ignore the situation and push in the face of Soan with no flash and with no jungle attention, and a very significant cost. And that might just be a turret dive here onto Linderong.
He's up top, is taking a bit of damage there. But they can juggle this nicely if Soan takes the initial aggro, because he will have the Sanguine pool to go ahead and drop. Grace is rotating up, but they're going to spot this, so they should know that Linderong's going to spot a bother. Hook shot comes through. They will initiate. Ultimatum comes down. Umti going low, as is Soan, but seems like the trade will happen. They'll just go ahead and pick up another kill.
Yeah, I was worried about Feast for a second there, but the Galio put any of those worries out of the picture. No turret aggro onto Umti from that. It's good juggling by the side of Jin Air. Very clean kill, and expand their kill lead to 2.
He's going to start giving Linderong the good old Huni treatment.
Yeah, first purchase now is going to be the Proto Belt very, very early. Warrior Enchant finished as well. The aggressive tint here compared to Cinder, Hulk, Jarvan is still putting it together, and still a long way to go on the Abyssal Mask for Linderang means perhaps we just keep running it down top, and there's really not so much Cho'Gath can do. His flash is up, but that's about it.
Yeah, doesn't really have any escapes. Has to land the knock up at him. He's going to go forward. Stun in.
That's
Sonic
fine.
takes a lot of damage. Goes quite low there.
Smite did register from Song 1, so he steals that one away. No Hero's Entrance.
Empty didn't have his ready to go.
Everyone will back away. Little bit of a steal against the flow of the game. First Hero's Entrance, checkmark. The outplay in mid, checkmark. Jin Air looking good after their week off, and making Lava punished quite heavily in the mid lane.
Looking for this engage yet again. Flash up available here for Lava. Grace gets locked into that Cataclysm. Song 1 gets slowed up by the tactical sweep, and Grace will be able to walk out of there, but this time is the aggressor and loses his own flash.
Yeah, the vision there from the side of ROX Tigers allowed them to make that play, and Umti walking out was too late because the extra information and his timing was there for ROX Tigers. So, nice little moment for them. I mentioned that with Tier, the lane would change in bot side, and that's why you see Teddy happy to be able to push in. They have a lot more options now. Also taking advantage of a back timer here from the side of ROX Tigers.
Wants to get that purchase in.
Sangyun's been trying to dip out of lane and get back in, but because he's got lethal tempo and doesn't have the unsealed spellbook, it's been an incredibly long laning phase as they got free boots before any items.
Yeah, they're finally trying to back off.
One day the recall will come in.
I mean, it might just be a flat-out Infinity Edge purchase for the Tristana at this point.
Or a flat-out most of a Shiv alongside a BF sword, because yeah, we don't see IE Rush that often anymore. The biggest offender of the IE Rush was definitely Maha, and even he is no longer doing that. So it's probably going to be most of the way towards a Shiv, but BF sword just for last-hitting reliability. Rite of Age is going to be the first pickup from Grace on the Galio. We've seen him go super AP heavy. Sadly not Proto Belt again. That was my ultra favorite, but going to be delayed at least for now.
They already have one at the top lane. There's only room for one Proto Belt in this game, Papa Smithy. As you can see, Linderang having...
There's only room for one person in this lane.
He's
having
He's having a whale of a time right now. So on.
Basically flexing in the face of Linderang, and nothing Linderang can do.
Song 1 nearby. Cataclysm almost off cooldown. They wanted to try to make a play, but double control ward in the brush, so not going to be sneaky enough.
He's just having a terrible time after that early gank went wrong. So Umti is the one who...
He's backing again, so...
Umti's the one who did this in the top side. Really good for him to do the 2-buff start. Again, because of the expectation, because of Song 1's playstyle, you knew he'd be there eventually. The only way to fox him was to give up a camp and just go top side. From 2 camp, EQ, he has so much mobility on Umti on the Camille. Now bot side pushing, being a massive jerk. We're just never going to recall Achilleos.
I mean, they're really trying to just force them back. Maybe to get some damage in onto the turret, but everyone's just sticking around. No one wants to recall.
I think the biggest first
purchase... they want to recall, but they can't.
Biggest first purchase I ever saw, I believe, was something like Trinity Force and a Bilgewater Cutlass. It's an incredibly long game. SKT were in it. I remember Bang's building so much on Ezreal.
That's a pretty significant spike.
Yeah.
When you come back to lane.
Boots 2, a Zeal and BF sword for Tristana. Gonna finish her Static Shiv next. And straight up Hurricane. Okay, Sangyun wants to go for what we saw in our first series. The push, push, push strategy. We'll take trade damage, though, from Teddy, so I think it's going to be as free a push as the Callisto might prefer.
See so on here. Whittling down the turrets, already knocked it down to about half HP, as well as Linderang, as he just keeps trading so nicely, weaving in and out between these turret shots.
Linderang just wants to go somewhere else. I'm sure in his head he's sipping mojitos in Hawaii rather than in lane, getting completely pounded by Sowan.
That area, he's back to the start of the game before he's been ganked. Speaking of ganks, Gray's going to get jumped on. He's just going to go ahead and disappear as Lava finds the kill. MT arriving just a bit too late, and Key was there for the Devour. So no trade. ROX just pick up their first.
Nice timing as well, because Grace's flash was still off cooldown, only has a Rod of Ages, so not going to be able to turn it around. The gank timing by the ROX Tigers gets them something good in the mid lane when Cull was cashed in. So Lava had also hit a significant item spike when they went for the gank. So clean execution. Not much to separate these two teams pre-tournament or pre-match today. And the only real significant lead, as you can see, is a level and also some items in the top side for the Vladimir over the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, a couple hundred gold on the board. Otherwise, pretty dead even.
It's all top side gold. It's 100 for ROX, but you know there's a big lead here for So1 over Linderong.
He is, he's crushing it right now. Linderong just got his catalyst. Still down by around 30 CS, so has been rough tidings for the Cho'Gath.
In terms of threats, the game goes on. It's pretty even between the two. Normally the team against Galio has a massive lead, but Umti's going to be doing significant damage. Probably going to go heavy damage build here, and Vladimir probably does the most damage of anyone in the game, barring, say, a 6-item Tristana. So, scaling-wise, good options on both sides.
Especially when that Tristana is set up with a Hemo Plague, so.
Yep. There's definitely a lot of control ultimates for Jin Air, so I am a fan of what they've put together. However, you fall behind. It's almost, again, like a snowball draft, because 3-item Corki laughs at any sort of AP Galio.
3-man roam up to top. Umti's going to get spotted. Flag and Drag connects. He's going to go low. Throws down the ultimatum. Hero's entrance comes in as he goes golden. Song1 as well, dodging out on that knock-up with his own stopwatch. Gets the pop-up onto Song1. Goes low, flashes into the Rift Herald pit. Smite coming through, trying to keep himself alive. Flag and Drag's out, and he will survive.
Nice mechanics then. They used an extra teleport. Don't get anything from it. Umti won't even turn on the Rift Herald because he's quite low after the start. Teddy's zoned out as well. ROX Tigers again trade up.
He is attempting this, and now he and Songyun working down this turret. Teddy afraid to push forward.
It's a bit tone deaf from Umti because he doesn't have vision. We know there's a control ward against him and the jungle in the area. And the Jarvan being in vision is what finally encourages him to leave, but they're going to lose bot lane turret for this. So ROX Tigers again trade up. Really nice by them.
First break going over to them. Package available here for Lava, so could look for a little gank path down to the bottom side if he sees Teddy and Wraith still playing forward in the lane. For now, we'll just be returning where the minions are getting ready to clash there in the mid lane, try to maintain, if not extend, the CS lead that he's grown over Grace.
They can find a way to end the top laning phase, which would probably involve Songyun and Ki walking top side, trying to punish the Vladimir. That'd be the next step for ROX Tigers. They really want to stop. The Cho'Gath is having the worst time ever in top, and you see a recall. Might mean that.
Yeah, Teddy and Wraith going to go match. So fully prepared for this swap, and So1's already down into the bottom lane.
No deep vision to confirm the lane swap, so it's going to be blind swap first by Jin Air. Only now showing. You could see them once again adjust the lane assignment. They won't, though. They'll just go and match, so going to be a tempo lead in the top side, but a turret lead for the side of ROX Tigers. They're still very, very happy with where they're at.
Lava just throwing down the package.
Lava's the biggest benefactor of this game. A kill, free farmed, and then some. 185 CS in 16 minutes. That's crazy.
He's a bit wanting here. MT got to jump forward, look for the stun in onto Key. Gets him slowed up with a tactical sweep, but the wards come down. Now the Flag and Drag connects in onto this Camille. They get the dazzle, however, and Lava's down below half HP. But he's going to jump forward, just forces the Valkyrie. And everyone going to go their separate ways. But ping's coming out. Jin Air maybe looking for that mid lane push onto the turret, but the wave clear, yeah, from Corki's just too significant, so they have to go back up top.
And Jin Air has to be respectful. Usually when you have a comp like this, where Vlad is free farmed and they have a Galio,
oh boy,
you want to fight early. ROX just there. It's just Key by himself.
Key by himself, yeah.
Problem they have is that that's a 2-item Callista already, so they really have to be careful. Because the Ren set already is online, especially if So1's not at the fight. They'd probably lose pretty heavily in a 4v4. That's why you see Sungwon happily starting the Rift Herald. Unless they pick someone instantly, it's just the damage from ROX should be much higher than what Jin Air can fight, and that's why they might have to give up the Rift Herald.
I mean, you say that, you see that big one hit there onto Umti, who will be jumping in, goes into the back, throws down the ultimatum in on top of Songyun. The Hero's entrance comes down, gets that Cosmic Radiance right at the last second to help stay in the fight, and he's got the Devour. He flashes over the pit, he keeps Songyun alive. Teddy jumping in, finds Songwon, should be able to finish him off and get the reset, but no one really to follow up on. So not going to be finding any further kills, but the J4 will go down.
And Linderong was able to interrupt the Vladimir, chase him the entire time, threaten silence, stop a teleport. They didn't have their major farmed member involved in any sort of a fight. And they're trying to push up.
For the dazzle, the connect there onto Songyun, who's got that full bomb ready to go off.
That's a flash away from Ren there, does Teddy. So they have to give up another summoner for this. Will they eventually take the turret? It's against the vision line.
They're looking for it.
But dogged persistence might pay off. No, they're going to have to respect.
I don't think one bomb is enough, so they're just going to go ahead and peel back. They don't have forward vision in that top side of the jungle, so they have to be respectful to Songwon, who just came up and did manage to get that Rift Herald.
We started with ahead of the game, but since then, the fundamentals that have allowed ROX some very impressive recent showings are just slightly better than what Jin Air is trying to force. The vision is making these Galio plays predictable. Feels like if you VOD review this week during the holiday, you'll see that the Galio being back in the meta is getting more and more solved when it comes to early aggression. And the stopwatches have really diminished the impact of the hero's entrance. And between those two things, ROX Tigers finds themselves 1,000 gold up, tempo up, and they want to crack the mid lane turret as well.
We're looking for it. The pings have come down, and Jin Air has converged in onto the mid lane. Back coming through from So On as well, so he's ready to join in with a TP if necessary. So a bit of a premature pop there on that Rift Herald. Not going to be netting them anything at all. Would have killed the turret, I believe. I think it's low enough, but couldn't get it in range.
Also just kind of try to skip steps and hope that the charge would do the rest, and instead Jin Air had 4 members and just bursted it down. So like you say, not the best Rift Herald ever. Does mean the game stays very, very close between the two teams. Teddy trying to get online with 2 items. Songyun ahead of the game with 2.5. And only good news story continues to be So On in the top side. Continues to farm up, but one silence in a team fight, he could die. No Zonias yet, no Merc Treads either. So the reliability of the Vladimir, Ghost Flash accepted, not going to be massive.
Jin Air going to be looking for a way to turn things around, even though they have the 3-1. Third advantage is there for ROX, and they've been setting the pace. Infernal Drake coming up, however, going to be a nice little pickup, but Songyun's like, yeah, I'll just solo this Baron. He's going to take a hell of a lot of damage and have to peel back, but it forces the peel off.
How fast can they do this?
Well, they're going to have the confirmation. TP's now coming through
from
Cho'Gath
as well. Smite, Rend, and also Feast.
Red stacks are ready to go, but can they get in there? He's going to jump in, but they can't get it. The Feast takes it away. So ROX picking up the Baron. Hero's entrance comes down. Key going to go down, and Songyun as well. Getting spat out. Will hand over a double kill to Teddy, but Baron gets taken off the board by the ROX Tigers, and they retain the buff on 3 members.
So confident, so assertive by ROX Tigers, putting faith in the Rend plus Smite plus Feast. It works out to only the tune of 2 members. They're trying to dive Lava.
Oh, they're looking for the jump there. Nearly getting the Dazzle connection, but Lava keeps himself safe, but unfortunately will not be able to save this turret. This is back a little bit of damage. Double Dazzle connects, but you can see Jin Air more interested in peeling back. They will go ahead and just pick up 2 turrets off the back end of that Baron going to ROX.
And release so much pressure from Linderung as well. No longer does he have to worry about Vladimir pushing turrets under his nose. Jin Air might be able to take an Infernal as Key waits with his mouth open. Just.
I didn't think he was going to get there in time.
I did. You got pretty generous range on that one. But able to walk up, stop the Infernal being taken, and an Infernal as well. Thank you very much for ROX Tigers.
Yep.
Still in a gold lead, 4 kills down. But they've been ahead of the play ever since shocked them with his level 2 gank. They now have the Infernal, Trinity Force, and Infinity Edge done on Lava. While there's a lot to like about Jin Air's comp, the execution so far hasn't been overlapping like they need it to be. The items aren't cemented either. Almost Trinity Force, almost Leandries when it comes to 2 of their members, but 2 items now finish onto Teddy. So ROX Tigers in a comfortable spot. And again, the Cho'Gath still having Baron means that Vladimir can't force the play.
Start getting a lot of mileage out of that Infernal Drake as well as Lava. Already has that Infinity Edge completed. 2 items from him. waiting to jump over the wall, but doesn't want to follow through. Knows that they just have to surrender that mid-turret.
There's Envision as well. Smart Ward over the wall, I believe by Key. Lava happy to walk up. He's going to package back and have the special delivery burn down the minion wave. Cho'Gath returns to top. Finally Cho'Gath not being bullied in lane. So one was caught by the authorities, I guess. At least for the next couple of minutes. He will be kept in check.
There's the Corki there to back him up. Sungwon pinching in from the side. So Jin Air likely just going to have to give this one away. There's no way for them really to clear out these minions. Daewee not going to be significant enough. Now So On almost getting popped up. Drops down the Hemo Plague. Should get a decent amount of HP back as jumps forward. Perhaps looking for the lockdown there onto Songyun. Cannot find it.
Imagine a 20-minute Baron Achilles gets you sort of advantage. The minions are so overpowered relative to where the items are at that very little you can do. Grace knows his time is better spent bot side. And at least push in a minion. I didn't see the turret HP, but don't believe it's going to be crashed by this minion wave. So much breathing room. Benefits Linderung especially on the side of ROX Tigers. The core done for most of the members. We're going to get an execution-heavy fight, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to see these two teams butt heads with pretty similar comps when it came to scalings. But the game's at right now, I like the damage item completions on the side of ROX. But if Jin Air can get the bouncy castle going, if they can get the ultimatum and Hero's Entrance, that honestly has left a lot to be desired so far. When we've seen it, I believe it's the 3rd to 4th time we're seeing it this week. Maybe they can make everything work.
Well, not going to be seeing a Drake for a while. And even then, it's just going to be the Cloud coming up. And Baron is still a ways away. So ROX, how do they want to spend their time before that next Baron does spawn? They've already knocked down all of the outer turrets. Haven't been able to get close to the inners yet.
Look at this from Sangyun. Max damage build, going for the Rage Blade 3rd. The safety choice is going Bloodthirster, so you have Overshield and Insane Lifesteal.
Yeah.
Instead going Rage Blade for every other order, rocking the double spears and potentially getting a surprising amount of damage onto a tank especially. Notable there, just out of nowhere, was recurve bow straight into a Rage Blade.
Songwon really playing forward. Fearlessly charging in. Here those Raptors, goes in with the Flag and Drag, gets to pop up in onto Umti. Songyun, he's going to go ahead and throw down that Blade of the Rune King.
So to make this game work, they need Songwon to be insanely tanky. I'm thinking of something like the Adaptive Helm here, perhaps. It's a lot of things to consider, but maybe Gargoyle's Stoneplate just to dive into 5, because he's their only initiation, other than a Tom Kench being thrown in. A Rupture's not going to do the job, so they need the Jarvan to be massive. Right now he's not.
Songyun just jumping, barely jumping away from that dazzle, keeps himself out of the stun.
The Force is the difficult part for ROX. Good turret damage, good teamfight damage, but Jarvan needs to dive in and not die instantly. We know Songwon's reputation. This guy loves to flash ult.
Well, they got the pop up there. Cosmic Radiance coming down now as Jin Air maybe look for the fight.
Cosmic Radiance from behind Achilles, always the story.
Yeah, there are just, they just kite back down the lane and suddenly Taric Ultimate's gone and ROX Tigers can just go ahead and stick around and slowly whittle away at this turret, or they'll just force it up. He'll tank it, no problem.
They'll take it pretty easily now that one big teamfight tool from Jin Air is down. We still remain to be convinced by these Taric drafts. Taric and Gallia both heavily out-rotated this week, as KSV found earlier in the week, even against the ROX Tigers. They've done a lot of work against Tarics in particular. Good reliability there. They back. No massive gold lead. They got the first Baron of the game. The cost of some kills. Only 2,500 gold to speak of. And Teddy's still stacking together. He's got 3 items himself.
Has been considerably far down in CS this entire time. Coming from the guy who holds the world record for most CS.
Oh, this guy's good at
competitive game, but yeah, hasn't been his best game so far with his Tristana. Getting constantly pushed in underneath the turret early on cost him quite a bit wave to wave.
Can still rip through a frontline member that is a Cho'Gath. That doesn't have a massive amount of armor.
Oh, I mean, if he finds Songyun in a 1v1, he very well could.
Definitely. Songyun and Lava, he can definitely take it a standing DPS trade. We're trying to think of how 5v5s will work. They need to find a way for Sowan to be ulting and pooling in front of Lava and Songyun and zoning them from the fight. Then the Tristana. Get a lot of work done on the front line. Probably going to be pretty front to back here. But again, ROX Tigers forcing front to back is almost impossible because Jarvan has to do everything himself. All flashes are up. Very difficult to force against a Gallia.
Lava waiting nearby. Good spotted out there. Just tag Sowan in the back. Everything still slowed down, but this is going to be Jin Air looking to find a pick. He going low. Hero's Entrance coming through. But he is going to be safe because of that Fate's Call from Songyun.
Songyun was over the wall. Songyun over the wall. Big punish there. Means another round of ultimates leads to nothing. That's 2 long cooldowns from Jin Air wasted.
Well, they also did draw out the TP from Linderong, though. So he's going to have to come up to the mid lane just in case that Baron were to be threatened by Jin Air.
But now Sowan, remember, has Ghost Flash, so he needs to also rotate early. Going for backline access rather than any sort of teleport play. Doesn't have a Void Staff yet, so won't be threatening the front line, but he's not interested in front line. He's all about diving the back line. Remember, Umti and Grace had their ults on cooldown for at least another 60 seconds. That's why ROX feels comfortable to walk up.
Teddy taking a bit of a hit there from the Rupture. Bunch of damage going through in onto the turret as Lava gets in range. Really takes it down. Pings are coming out from ROX. be looking to retreat over and start up the Baron, and yes, they will use the Abyssal Voyage to take them nearby.
I believe they're spotted out now, of course, 100% spotted out.
100% they know. And yeah, so
Red
on.
stacks are going to come in earlier because of the Rage Bait, extra stacks.
No one's still in the mid lane. He had the Ghost, he had to pop it just to get that far.
It's so hard to steal this one.
Yeah, they just have to let it go. Ren comes through and ROX pick up the Baron.
That Rend was at 1990. Okay, well that was a really large Rend.
He's got a lot of spears in it.
Yeah, with the Rage Bait, getting the extra spears in every second auto, absolutely. Absolutely just monstered their way through the Baron. I was kind of aghast, because 2,000 is a lot of Rend damage. But
and, you know, even aside from that, they have a Feast, so...
Yeah, I was checking that. I was like, that was a lot of damage, but Feast and Smite were both available, so... Very reliable. And their damage calculation, second Baron of the game. This Baron power play team doing really well. Two Barons pre-30 minutes. Very unlikely in the LCK, but...
It's not quite the power play that we saw from a Freak of Freaks getting 10k off of a Baron, but they have been inching themselves forward and getting into a much more comfortable position. And now that all of the outer turns have already been taken, can work their way into those inner ones.
Isn't it just amazing that in the LCK, a gold lead pre-30 minutes really only exists because of two Barons? Like, that's really the majority of the gold lead here for ROX Tigers. There's some turrets as well, but CS values have been just fine on both sides. There's the Feast.
They're kind of nullified, you know, the advantage that Songyun has and the one that Lava has just kind of being nullified by Linderong's discrepancy.
And Sungwon has indeed gone for the I'm going to ult and slowly die build with the Stone Plate.
Very nice.
Needs to find someone without flash, which right now is impossible. So-on looking for the flank, but so far the flanking wards here are excellent from the side of ROX Tigers. They know the only way they lose is if So-on gets into the back line, and for now that's being zoned and warded away from happening.
Well, another ultimatum coming through, looking for Songyun this time around, but the Devourer is there. Hero's Entrance will get the pop-up into the Dazzle stun. Songyun getting spat back out, and that's going to be Lava getting obliterated on the other side of the wall. As you say, and Teddy, he's going to find one, maybe even two. No, Empty takes it away with the tactical sweep, but just like that, three members on the side of ROX Tigers have been absolutely deleted, and Jin Air is looking to change the pace of the game.
Yeah, someone went to zone on the side, was putting down vision, and then instantly deleted by Galio damage of all things. The brute force down mid lane. How much can they get here? Still Cho'Gath alive, so difficult to end the game, but no one's selling Jin Air. They're pushing.
And Linderong, yeah, he's playing back. This is going to be an inhibitor, at least maybe even more. It's still 20 seconds.
They're going to try and end the game.
Grace cheating for Jin Air, going in for it. Empty. Looking for the chunks in onto the turret. Songwon goes forward, gets a flag and drag pop-up, but gets stunned by the Dazzle, and he is just going to go down, tries to flash away, but he gets killed by the Vladimir, and they're chasing...
Wave.
Stop. Why are you chasing Linderong? Okay. They want to kill him.
He's taking the minion wave as well. Smart move by Linderong. Doesn't feel good, but it's what he has to do.
I had to glance back at those respawn timers as well. Songyun and Lava just now coming back up, so didn't want to overstay. Chased in for the Cho'Gath, caught up in the action.
Let's watch the replay of how this starts. Songyun's just ducking around, and this is all Umti who just ults Songyun. Tom Kench was out of position, had to flash just to try to get into Devour range to get them out of ultimatum. But watch this, one rotation, and then just an E from the Vlad, and he's dead instantly. It's Lava who has almost all of the gold. I'm sure that was a jump scare. Basically, it was like a horror film as the Vladimir came in. He died during 1 CC duration. Wasn't even able to use his stopwatch, let alone having a QSS. Right now, ROX Tigers
trying to turn it around. Trying to find something. Do not have any more of those Baron buffs. All of them have expired. And were killed.
We're on a budget, but we've got an Ardent Sensor Rush on the Taric saying, well, please carry us, Teddy.
Oh. They don't know that he's there. Now they know. They cancel. Nope. Songyun didn't get the memo. He still went back to base.
I mean, he would have gotten away. He was still Ghost Flash, Paul Vladimir, but...
With his Zonias. But Key, however, he wrapped around the wrong way, and Teddy Steel Frisky jumps in, and yeah, he's not even going to bother trying to pop the shield. Teddy will just go ahead and finish him off 404 on this Tristana.
Yeah, 404. Tom Kench not found. He was dead. Frog is on the gray screen. No control over the Elder. That spawns soon.
I find it hilarious that Jin Air has a turret lead. It's 11-1, and they're still only up by like 700 gold.
It's the sort of game where if you watch, you're like, man, what a highway robbery if they had won from that previous push. But they had all the kills. Yeah. What happened? No, the two Barons were the real big story in this game. But maybe Jin Air circumvented a suspect first 30 minutes with a great 4 minutes because they're already in another push that could just potentially end the game.
They're looking for this inner turret down here in the bottom side, but Lava is still a big threat as you see that chunk coming through off of the
If Linderung and someone are ever out of position, it's 5-item Tristana if you include the Ardent Sensor attack speed. She is insanely massive out of nowhere. Remember, Teddy was just doing nothing this game and now has the stat line 404 on he and also the Camille.
Oh, yeah. He just silently getting these kills in the background outside of the first one that we saw. That was a bit wanting try there by Kian Linderung, trying to jump in there and get the Abyssal Voyage off to lock down somebody, but the only person in range was Grace.
The most fun thing is we're two kind of unheralded team, largely with young players, and aggressive shot calls have decided both leads for these teams. They've both made super aggressive moves that have worked, which is good to see without it being a veteran status team. So both of them showing they're all about the aggression. And speaking of aggression,
yeah, MT going quite far forward, will get popped up. Flag and Drag comes in. Cosmic Radiance won't save him in time. The answer is going to be yes, and Songwon's going to be the one paying the price as Teddy finds another kill. 504 jumps over the wall, now looking for Linderung, takes him down a double. How aggressive is he feeling? Not going to be in position. We're close enough to go forward to try to get more.
Teleport up on Grace, but the minions should actually end this. Minion aggro always an interesting thing, but we'll watch the bot side. Is Teddy going to face check anyone?
They have a ward over the wall, doesn't have to. Spots them out already. They're trying to recall, and oh dear. Rock in a hard place. Grace looking for the taunt, doesn't find it there onto Lava as he tries to trade some damage back, but Teddy, he's just going for it, pops him, takes him out, rips them apart, and now Key has to try to flash away, but they're going the opposite direction. They'll throw him back in to try to trade this back. Teddy getting locked up, the Ren not going to be enough. One final hit, takes him down, Key to fall as well, and I believe that was an extended pentakill for Teddy.
Well, this pickpocket is turned completely to the end. Songwon only one alive. Linderung will come. Jin Air want to finish it on this part. They don't have Tristana yet, so we might have some yakety sacks before this game ends.
Absolutely monstrous, but so on. Yeah, he's going to be going in, looking for Linderung, trying to chunk him down. But the Cho'Gath is pretty big at the moment, but they have the super creeps here to back them up.
Are always really long.
And yeah, 20 seconds left. As Wraith arrives and Teddy is mostly in tow, so this is going to be game number 1. 36 minutes just about there, 16-2 as they take down the ROX Tigers, who were in control, had 2 Barons throughout this, but they cannot close it out. Jin Air off of one fight turned the pace of the game around.
Because this was one of the most eventful 36 minutes games we've seen in the longest time.
And it was Jin Air and ROX.
I know, so much happened in this game. Both of them taking very aggressive punches. It felt like it was a boxing match because there was knockout punch out of knockout punch from both sides. In the end, it felt like ROX Tigers had both of them because the 2 Barons, one at 20 minutes, one at 28 minutes, I thought they would decide the game. But finds Kalista and Tom out of position, ults the Kalista. The Tahm Kench takes a long time to actually disengage. In the follow-up, Lava is killed in one rotation by the Galio. And against all expectation, it's actually Jin Air that win game 1.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 Barons kind of being a bit of a rope-a-dope there, as you say, to go along with your boxing analogy. Jin Air just kind of wearing them down, surviving the Barons, and then they just come back in with a knockout punch.
But the fight isn't over. That was actually only round 1 of this fight, and I'm ready to see more. First series today, fun. The second series of today, it's 2 teams in good form. Both teams fighting for those playoffs.
All right, well, very eventful. Way more eventful than we were ever anticipating. And action-packed game there from Jin Air and ROX Tigers, which is not something that we get to say
give me 3
often.
of those games and I'll be happy.
I'm perfectly happy to have more of that. So please, sir, can I have some more? But for now, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we'll see if, against the odds, against the expectations, whether or not Jin Air can close out a 2-0 victory over the ROX Tigers.
Only Jin Air knows how good Jin Air is. This time there wasn't a wait. They've been up and down this season. That was some great shot calling to problem solve them out of a rough spot.
Yeah, and also just good start there. Good read by MT at the beginning to get that first blood on the board. Let's see if they can make it happen again, or if ROX Tigers will even the score with a 1-1 when we come back from the break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere.